Page 520. Affirmative to negative and vice versa. Example 1. Siddha doesn't seem to be a bad sort. Worked out. Siddha seems to be a good sort. 2. At any rate, the fellow looks tidy. At any rate, the fellow does not look untidy. 3. Mr. Shiva Shankar was unable to make up his mind. Mr. Shiva Shankar was not able to make up his mind. 4. Siddha was given 2 meals a day and 4 rupees a month. Siddha was given nothing but 2 meals a day and 4 rupees a month. 5. He doesn't seem to me worse than the others we have had. He seems to me better than the others we have had. Page 521. 8. I like him. I do not dislike him. 7. Don't send him, that is Siddha, away. Keep him, that is Siddha, here or / let him stay here. 8. I don't see it. I am unable to see it. 9. His company made her supremely happy. His company did not make her least unhappy. 10. She knew 2 or 3 letters of the alphabet. She knew nothing but 2 or 3 letters of the alphabet. 11. Siddha told her incomparable stories. No other story can be compared to the stories that Siddha told her. Printing mistake. 12. After her meal, Leela refused to go to bed. Her meal, Leela did not agree to go to bed. 13. Her, printing mistake. 13. Her mind was disturbed. Her mind was not undisturbed. 14. It was impossible for her mother to think of a story. It was not possible for her mother to think of a story. 15. Mother didn't answer the question. Mother remained silent to the question. 16. I think he is angry with us. I think he is not pleased with us. 17. It seems he is an old criminal. It seems he is not a new criminal. 18. The inspector was able to identify him. The inspector did not fail to identify him. 19. It was unmistakably Leela's chain. Make no mistake, it was Leela's chain. 20. The mirror was obviously made in India. The mirror was obviously made in no other country but India. 21. You are so very much like everything else in this country. You are not a bit different from anything else in this country. 22. She wore a dirty white sari. She did not wear a clean white sari. 23. As soon as he had gone, she hailed a passing railway coolie. No sooner had he gone than she hailed a passing railway coolie. 24. He did not like her poor illiterate relatives hanging around his bungalow. He disliked her poor illiterate relatives hanging around his bungalow. 25. She obeyed passively. She obeyed with no protest. 26. These nocturnal visits had borne no fruit. These nocturnal visits had been fruitless. 27. The arrival of the train did not disturb Sir Mohanlal Sangfroa. Sir Mohanlal Sangfroa remained undisturbed by the arrival of the train. 28. He continued to sip in scotch. He did not discontinue to sip his scotch. 29. Excitement, bustle and hurry were exhibition of bad breeding. Excitement, bustle, bustl, and hurry were not exhibitions of good breeding. 30. He wanted everything, quote, tickety-boo, unquote, and orderly. He wanted nothing to be untidy and disorderly. 31. Whiskey never failed with Englishmen. Whiskey always succeeded with Englishmen. Or did whiskey ever fail with Englishmen? 32. The compartment was empty. It was not that the compartment was full. 33. He had expected to stay only about 3 months. He had expected to stay not more than 3 months. 34. You are not a bad fellow at heart. You are a good fellow at heart. 35. Stop cracking safes. Don't crack safes anymore. 36. From there he proceeded leisurely to the depot. From there he did not proceed quickly to the depot. 37. Only Ben Price knew Jimmy's habits. None but Ben Price knew Jimmy's habits. 38. Young men of Jimmy's style and looks were scarce in Elmore. Young men of Jimmy's style and looks were not aplenty in Elmore. 39. There wasn't an exclusive shoe store in the place. There was want of exclusive shoe store in the place. 40. Business in all lines was fairly good. Business in all lines was not at all bad. Page 522, example. 41. Socially he was a success. Socially he was not a failure. 42. I know you will be glad to get them. I know you will not be unhappy to get them. 43. That would be the first time he had left the town since he came to Elmore. Never before had he left the town since he came to Elmore. 44. The vault was a small one. The vault was not a big one. 45. To a woman nothing seems quite impossible to the powers of the man she worships. To a woman everything seems quite possible to the powers of the man she worships. 46. He seemed to be unconscious of the presence of anyone else. He did not seem to be conscious of the presence of anyone else. 47. Guess you are mistaken. Guess you are not properly guided. 48. As soon as he came in her life, immediately she went in haste to give that good news. No sooner had he come in her life than she went in haste to give that good news. 49. That little unborn child was the first messenger of peace. That little child who was not yet born was the first messenger of peace. 50. St. John says you are a liar if you love God and you hate your neighbor. St. John says you are a liar if you say you love God and you do not love your neighbor. 51. We remember his great love. We do not forget his great love. 52. I never forget an opportunity. I always remember an opportunity. 53. And I did not see a single one with their smile on their face. I failed to see single one with their smile on their face. 54. I am used to see the smile on our people. I am not unused to see the smile on our people. 55. These are difficult days for everybody. These are not easy-going days for everybody. 56. The greatest destroyer of peace is abortion. The greatest destroyer of peace is nothing but abortion. 57. And my answer was very simple. And my answer was not at all complicated. 58. He is finite. He is not infinite. 59. Love begins at home. Love does not begin anywhere other than home. 60. I could not help but examine my conscience before her. I had to examine my conscience before her. 61. You must pray for us. You must not abstain from praying for us. ABSTAIN, abstain. 62. This is really something true. This is not anything false. 63. Literature certainly provides man inner delight. Literature certainly provides man nothing but inner delight. 64. 64. Man apprehends the world with his mind and senses. Man does not apprehend the world without his mind and senses. 65. The ear cannot do what the eye is meant to do. Can the ear do what the eye is meant to do? 66. They cannot differentiate between a painting and a photograph. They fail to differentiate between a painting and a photograph. 67. The educated public of this country and its universities are mainly responsible for this. None but the educated public of this country and its universities are mainly responsible for this. 68. For the rich man's son, it is superficial, so lifeless. For the rich man's son, it is not deep, so lifeless. 69. This widespread disproportion and lack of taste is a sure indication of our poverty in aesthetic sensibilities. This widespread disproportion and lack of taste is not an unsure indication of the richness in aesthetic sensibilities. 70. This lack of art education has not only deprived the present course of our lives of beauty, it has estranged us from our past heritage. This lack of art education has deprived the present course of our lives of beauty as well as estranged us from our past heritage. Page 523. 71. We have remained ignorant and insensitive to the glory of our past painting, sculpture, and architecture. We have neither knowledge nor sensitivity about the glory of our past painting, sculpture, and architecture. 72. No one can become a poet by just passing a course in poetry. Can anyone become a poet by just passing a course in poetry? 73. A voice less loud than the two hearts beating each to each. A voice is not louder than the two hearts beating each to each. 74. To our shame, even our present-day art does not get any recognition in our country until it finds approval in foreign markets. To our shame, even our present-day art gets recognition in our country after it finds approval in foreign markets. 75. Each school and university should provide a place for art studies with other studies, making it compulsory. Each school and university should not fail to provide a place for art studies with other studies, making it compulsory. 76. This is essential for the town dweller. This is not essential for the country dweller. 77. Earth has not anything to show more fair. Earth has shown the fairest. 78. Never saw I, never felt a calm so deep. Did I ever see or feel a calm so deep? 79. The invisible worm, WORM, has found out the bed. The worm which is not visible has found out the bed. 80. Little do I last. I do not last long. 81. Unknowing I understand. Not knowing I understand. 82. The night is enormous. The night is not small. 83. The day is near. The day is not far away. 84. The losses were now high enough. The losses were not low any longer. Exclamatory to assertive and vice versa. Example 1. It gave her great joy to play the teacher to him. Worked out. What joy it gave her to play the teacher to him. 2. Siddha was utterly incapable of applying the pencil. How utterly incapable Siddha was of applying the pencil. 3. Mr. Shiva Shankar grew very excited over all this. How excited Mr. Shiva Shankar grew over all this. 4. It was utterly impossible for her mother to think of a story. How impossible it was for her mother to think of a story. 5. What a villain she had been harboring all these days. She had been harboring a very wicked villain all these days. 6. What a risk we took in engaging that fellow. We took a great risk in engaging that fellow. 7. Keep your ruddy mouth shut. You should keep your ruddy mouth shut. 8. How heavy it is. It is very heavy. 9. They said a beautiful sentence. What a sentence they said. 10. And my answer was very simple. And how simple was my answer. 11. She gave me a very simple answer. What a simple answer she gave me. 12. I am very grateful for what I have received. How grateful I am for what I have received. Infinitive. Recap of background knowledge. Finite and non-finite verbs. These are two types of verbs in English grammar, finite and non-finite. Look at the following examples. 1. He wants to sing a song. Here wants indicate Simple present tense. The form of the verb is determined by the subject. The verb form that goes with the third person singular subject has been used. This verb form is an example of finite verb. But the verb, quote, to sing, unquote, does not indicate the tense. It is not limited to the subject. This is an example of non-finite verb. 2. He wanted to sing a song. Here, wanted indicates simple past tense. The form of the verb is determined by the subject. The form of the verb is determined by the subject. The verb form, page 524, that goes with the third person singular subject has been used. This verb form is an example of finite verb. But the verb to sing does not indicate the tense. It is not limited to the subject. This is an example of non-finite verb. Para. While the finite verbs mark the tense of the speech, the non-finite verbs remain unchanged in all tenses. Verbs in the indicative, imperative, and subjunctive moods are known as finite verbs. They are called finite because they are related to the subject and their action is limited by the number and person of the subject. But there are other forms of verbs which are not related to the subject. Hence, they are not limited by number or person, nor do they express any time sense, that is, tense. Such verbs are known as non-finite verbs. There are three types of non-finite verbs: infinitive, gerund, and participle. Use of infinitive. Table, left column, sentences without infinitive. Right column, sentences with infinitive. Example 1. Mr. Shiva Shankar was standing in the front veranda of his house brooding over the servant problem. Simple. Mr. Shiva Shankar was standing in front of the veranda of his house to brood over the servant problem. Simple. 2. He covered the ball tightly with his fingers and allowed her to peep through a little gap. Compound. He covered the ball tightly with his fingers to allow her to peep through a little gap. Simple. 3. I climb a coconut tree for touching a big moon. Simple. I climb a coconut tree to touch a big moon. Simple. 4. He stopped near the well and pointed up to the moon. Compound. He stopped near the well to point up to the moon. Simple. 5. Leela ran in and told her mother that Siddha knew the moon. Complex. Leela ran in to tell her mother that Siddha knew the moon. Complex. 6. Playing the teacher to Siddha gave her great joy. Simple. It gave her great joy to play the teacher to Siddha. Simple. 7. She redoubled her efforts in teaching him. Simple. She redoubled her efforts to teach him. Simple. 8. He sat down on the floor near the bed for telling her incomparable stories. Simple. He sat down on the floor near the bed to tell her incomparable stories. Simple. 9. One evening Siddha went out for buying sugar. Simple. One evening Siddha went out to buy sugar. Simple. 10. Mr. Shiva Shankar went to the police station and lodged a complaint. Mr. Shiva Shankar went to the police station to lodge a complaint. Simple. 11. I won't sleep unless Siddha comes and tells me stories. Compound. I won't sleep unless Siddha comes to tell me stories. Simple. 12. Thinking of a story now was utterly impossible for her mother. Simple. To think of a story now was utterly impossible for her mother. Simple. 13. Thinking what a villain she had been harboring all these days, she shuddered. Complex. She shuddered to think that what a villain she had been harboring all these days. Complex. 14. The fellow with his knowledge of the household might come in at night and loot. Compound. The fellow with his knowledge of the household might come in at night to loot. Simple. 15. Leela ran down the steps for meeting him. Simple. Leela ran down the steps to meet him. Simple. 16. She took it to the tap for washing off the coating of tamarind on it. Simple. She took it to the tap to wash off the coating of tamarind on it. Simple. 18. Lady Mohanlal sat on a small grey steel trunk for chewing betel leaf. Simple. Lady Mohanlal sat on a small grey steel trunk to chew betel leaf. Simple. 19. She sat down on her steel trunk and started talking to him. Compound. She sat down on her steel trunk and started to talk to him. Compound. 20. Lady Lal opened the brass carrier for taking out a bundle of cramped chapatis. Simple. Lady Lal opened the brass carrier to take out a bundle of cramped chapatis. Simple. 21. Her husband never had any time that he could spare for her. Complex. Her husband never had any time to spare for her. Simple. Page 525. He did not, number 22. He did not seek, beg your pardon. Number 22. He did not like her poor illiterate relatives hanging around his bungalow. Simple. He did not like her poor illiterate relatives to hang around his bungalow. Simple. 23. He came up to her once in a while and stayed for a few minutes. Compound. He came up to her once in a while to stay for a few minutes. Simple. 24. She went to the public tap for rinsing her mouth and washing her hands. Simple. She went to the public tap to rinse her mouth and wash her hands. Simple. 26. She produced a 2-anna bead from a knot, K-N-O-T, in a sari for dismissing the coolie. Simple. She produced a 2-anna bead from a knot in her sari to dismiss the coolie. Simple. 27. She then opened her betel case for making herself 2 betel leaves. Simple. She then opened her betel case to make herself 2 betel leaves. Simple. 28. She sat gazing idly at the jostling crowd on the platform. Simple. She sat to gaze idly at the jostling crowd on the platform. Simple. 29. She had been storing up betel saliva for spitting. Simple. She had been storing up betel saliva to spit. Simple. 30. A guard came to the poison shoe shop. Beg your pardon. 30. A guard came to the prison shoe shop and escorted Jimmy to the front office. Simple. A guard came to the prison shoe shop to escort Jimmy to the front office. Simple. 31. Unlock him at 7 and let him come to the bull pen, BULL-PEN compound. Unlock him at 7 to let him come to the bullpen, simple. 32. He got his key and went upstairs, unlocking the door of a room at the rear. Simple. He got his key and went upstairs to unlock the door of a room at the rear. Compound. 33. Jimmy slid back a panel in the wall and dragged out a dust-covered suitcase. Compound. Jimmy slid back a panel in the wall to drag out a dust-covered suitcase. Simple. 34. Jimmy began asking him questions about the town. Simple. Jimmy began to ask him questions about the town. Simple. 35. He said he had come to Elmore looking for a location for going into business. Complex. He said he had come to Elmore to look for a location to go into business. 36. He would find it a pleasant town for living. Simple. He would find it a pleasant town to live in. Simple. 37. Mr. Spencer thought he would stop over in the town for a few days and look over the situation. Complex. Mr. Spencer thought he would stop over in the town for a few days to look over the situation. Complex. 38. He and Annabel were engaged for marriage in 2 weeks. Simple. He and Annabel were engaged to be married in 2 weeks. Simple. 40. I want you for winding up some little matters for me. Simple. I want you to wind up some little matters for me. Simple. 41. I know you will be glad on getting them. Simple. I know you will be glad to get them. Simple. 42. He was going to Little Rock that day for ordering his wedding suit and buying something nice for Annabel. Simple. He was going to Little Rock that day to order his wedding suit and buy something nice for Annabel. Simple. 43. Finding the shining metal and funny clock and knobs, the 2 children, May and Agatha, were delighted. Simple. The 2 children, May and Agatha, were delighted to find the shining metal and funny clock and knobs. Simple. 44. She unpinned the bud from her bosom of her dress and placed it in his hand. Compound. She unpinned the bud from her bosom of her dress to place it in his hand. Simple. 45. And Ben Price turned and strolled down the street. Compound. And Ben Price turned to stroll down the street. Simple. 46. We have gathered here for offering thanks to God for the Nobel Peace Prize. Simple. We have gathered here to thank God for the Nobel Peace Prize. Simple. Page 526. 47. Jesus became man for bringing that good news to the poor. Simple. Jesus became man to bring that good news to the poor. Simple. 48. He made himself the bread of life for satisfying our hunger for his love. Simple. He made himself the bread of life to satisfy our hunger for his love. Simple. 49. Are we there for receiving them? Simple. Are we there to receive them? Simple. 50. Is the mother there for receiving the child? Simple. Is the mother there to receive the child? Simple. 51. Seeing so many young boys and girls given the drugs, I was surprised. Simple. I was surprised to see so many young boys and girls given into drugs. Simple. 52. Fighting abortion by adoption is saving thousands of lives. Simple. To fight abortion by adoption is to save thousands of lives. Simple. 54. I would have tried for drawing a little attention. Simple. I would have tried to draw a little attention. Simple. 55. I want you finding the poor here right in your home first. Simple. I want you to find the poor here right in your home first. Simple. 56. Among those things that man has devised for acquiring knowledge, language has an important place. Simple. Among those things that man has devised to acquire knowledge, language has an important place. Simple. 57. It should provide the students with environment so that they get acquainted with nature. It should provide the students with environment to get acquainted with nature. Simple. 58. We should get well-qualified people for writing readable books on art. We should get simple. We should get well-qualified people to write readable books on art. Simple. 60. So, excluding art from the sphere of our needs is harmful to the economic well-being of the country. 50. Beg your pardon, 60. There's a printing mistake because after 58 comes 60, so it should be 59. 59. So, excluding art from the sphere of our needs is harmful to the economic well-being of the country. Simple. So, to exclude art from the sphere of our needs is harmful to the economic well-being of the country. Simple. 60. An effort should be made for giving the festival a total shape and beauty with music, dances, and procession. Simple. An effort should be made to give the festival a total shape and beauty with music, dances, and procession. Simple. School questions and answers. Rewrite the following sentences as directed. 1. Now this has touched the moon and come. Use a participle to make the sentence simple. Parashat Vivekananda Vidyapith. Answer. Now, comma, having touched the moon, comma, this has come, stop. 2. He died on the cross to show that great love. Make it a compound sentence. Parashat Vivekananda Vidyapith. Answer. He died on the cross and it shows that great love. 3. Ben Price knew Jimmy's habits. Change into a negative sentence. Parashat Vivekananda Vidyapith, Annual Exam 2016. Answer. Jimmy's habits were not unknown to Ben Price. 4. I am a man. Change into a negative sentence. Talpukur came high school. Answer. I am nothing but a man. 5. Siddha opened the gate and came in. Make it a simple sentence. Mathabhanga High School. Answer. Opening the gate, Siddha came in. 6. I don't know, comma, master. Use the noun form of know. Bodla High School. Answer. I have no knowledge, comma, master. 7. He rarely spoke Hindustani. Make it negative. Bodla High School. Answer. He did not speak Hindustani often. 8. Earth has not anything to show more fair. Turn into an interrogative sentence. Ghurni High School, Melia Raicharan Vidyapith, Gede Shammilani High School. Answer. Has Earth anything to show more fair? Question mark. page 527, 9. Mr. Shiva Shankar subjected him to scrutiny. Use the verb form of scrutiny. Kamalpur Netaji High School. Answer. Mr. Shiva Shankar scrutinized him. 10. He never touched hard drinks. Turn into affirmative. Kamalpur Netaji High School. Answer. He always kept himself away from hard drinks. 11. The beauty of the morning is silent. Use the noun form of silent. Ichhapur Girls High School. Answer. The beauty of the morning is marked by silence. 12. As soon as he had gone, she hailed a passing railway coolie. Change into a negative sentence. Ichhapur Girls High School. Answer. No sooner had he gone than she hailed a passing railway coolie. 13. After I get married, I am going to sell out and go west. Use the noun form of married. Melia Raicharan Vidyapith. Answer. After my marriage, I am going to sell out and go west. 14. The very houses seem asleep. Make it complex. Pannalal Institution. Answer. It seems that the very houses are asleep. 15. The coolie put down her steel trunk. Turn into complex sentence. The Shirgore AC Institution. Answer. The coolie put down her trunk which was made of steel. 16. Bow down and hail the coming morn. Turn into a simple sentence. The Shirgore AC Institution. Answer. Bow down to hail the coming morn. 17. The compartment was empty. Turn into a negative sentence. The Shirgore AC Institution. Answer. The compartment was not full. 18. What a rough fellow he must be. Turn into an assertive sentence. The Shirgore AC Institution. Answer. He must be a very rough fellow. 19. He surveyed the compartment and noticed the unoccupied berth. Make it simple. Gorabazar IC Institution. Answer. Surveying the compartment, he noticed the unoccupied berth. 20. The mirror was obviously made in India. Turn into a complex sentence. Gorabazar IC Institution, Gede Shamilani High School, Gorabazar Shilpo Mandir Girls High School. Answer. It is obvious that the mirror was made in India. 21. Never felt I a calm so deep. Use superlative of deep. Gorabazar IC Institution. Answer. This is the deepest calm that I ever felt. 22. I never cracked safe in my life. Change into interrogative sentence. Raja Lakshmi Konna Vidyapith, APC High School for Boys. Answer. Have I ever cracked a safe in my life? 23. Her pa owns this bank. Rewrite the sentence using the noun form of own, O-W-N. Answer. Her pa is the owner of this bank. 24. He sat down on the floor near the bed and told incomparable stories. Turn into a complex sentence. Goishpur Netaji Vidya Mandir for Girls. Answer. He, who sat down on the floor near the bed, told incomparable stories. 25. Earth has not anything to show more fair. Make it affirmative. Kontai High School. Answer. Has earth anything to show more fair? 26. His heart warmed at the prospect of an impressive conversation. Use the noun form of warmed. Kontai High School. Answer. His heart felt the warmth at the prospect of an impressive conversation. 27. Nothing can make them confess. Make it interrogative. Kontai High School. Answer. Can anything make them confess? Question mark. 28. Leela's face became red. Use the verb form of red and rewrite. Jodhpur Park Boys School, Annual Exam 2015. Answer. Leela's face reddened. 29. I don't know their ways, comma, so I keep to my zenana interclass. Convert into a simple sentence, Hindu school. Answer. Their ways being unknown to me, comma, I keep to my zenana interclass. 30. Leela ran. Rewrite using the underlined word ran as noun, Hindu school. Answer. Leela had a run, or Leela went for a run. 31. The bell clanged and announced the approaching train. Rewrite using the underlined word approaching as noun, Hindu school. Answer. The bell clanged and announced the approach of the train. 32. Little do I last. Rewrite it into a negative sentence, APC High School for Boys. Answer. I do not last long. Page 528, 32. You are not a reliable prosecution witness. Turn into a complex sentence, APC High School for Boys. Answer. You are not such a prosecution witness who is reliable. 34. These days all trains are crowded. Change into a negative sentence. Gede Shamilani High School, Paniparul Mukteshwar High School, Annual Exam 2014. Answer. These days not a single train is empty. 35. He got his key and went upstairs. Change into a simple sentence. Hooghly Collegiate School, Annual Exam 2015. Answer. Getting his key, he went upstairs. 36. Mr. Shiva Shankar, unable to make up his mind, called his wife. Make it a complex sentence using relative clause. Hooghly Collegiate School. Answer. Mr. Shiva Shankar, comma, who was unable to make up his mind, comma, called his wife. 37. The day is near. Make it negative. Ojoy Onnoda Bidya Mandir. Answer. The day is not afar. 38. He sat down on the floor near the bed and told incomparable stories. Make it simple. Halishahar Mollikbagh High School. Answer. Sitting down on the floor near the bed, he told incomparable stories. 39. Outside the waiting room, Sir Mohanlal's luggage lay piled along the wall. Make it complex. Halishahar Mollikbagh High School. Answer. It was Sir Mohanlal's luggage that lay piled along the wall outside the waiting room. 40. Sir Mohan looked out of the window down the crowded platform. Use crowd and rewrite the sentence. Paniparul Mukteshwar High School. Answer. Sir Mohan looked out of the window down the platform which was full of crowd. 41. The police know his haunts. Make it complex. Paniparul Mukteshwar High School. Answer. The police know what/where his haunts are. 42. Sir Mohan decided to welcome them. Use the noun form of decided. Gorabazar Shilpo Mandir Girls HS School. Answer. Sir Mohan took up the decision to welcome them. 43. Mr. Shiva Shankar was unable to make up his mind. Make it negative. Gorabazar Shilpo Mandir Girls HS School. Answer. Mr. Shiva Shankar was not able to make up his mind. 44. He met Miss Annabel Adams, comma, and became more and more captivated by her charms. Change into a simple sentence. Annual Exam 2014. Answer. Having met Miss Annabel Adams, he became more and more captivated by her charms. 45. Fine art liberates our mind from the constraints of sorrow. Use the noun form of liberate. Annual Exam 2014. Answer. Fine art causes liberation of our mind from the constraints of sorrow. 46. A bearer in white livery appeared through a wire gauze door. Turn into a complex sentence. Annual Exam 2015. Answer. A bearer who was in white livery, Livery, appeared through a wire gauze door. 47. Earth has not anything to show more fair. Change into an interrogative sentence. Annual Exam 2015. Answer. Doesn't Earth have anything to show more fair? Question mark. 48. I believe that we are not real social workers. Rewrite the sentence using the noun form of believe. Annual Exam 2016. Answer. It is my belief that we are not real social workers. 49. And then Ben Price acted rather strangely. Rewrite using the adjective form of strangely. Annual Exam 2017. Answer. And then Ben Price acted in a rather strange manner. 50. As soon as he had gone, she hailed a passing railway coolie. Change into a negative sentence. Annual Exam 2017. Answer. No sooner had he gone than she hailed a passing railway coolie. 51. He stopped near the well and pointed down. Change into a simple sentence. Annual Exam 2017. Answer. Stopping near the well, he pointed down. 52. It will be wrong on our part to expect. Change into a negative sentence. Annual Exam 2017. Answer. It will not be right. Printing mistake. It will not be right on our part to expect. Next, page 529, joining of sentences.